Hey, we are on to
number 22.
And by a happy accident, number 22 is number 22. Tre Brown wears number 22 for this team, entering his fourth year. And I'm never quite sure what his role is. Is he going to start? Is he going to push? Is he going to, what is he best at? Last year, for the first time, he showed he could remain healthy. He did play in 15 games. He started 7 of them, but give him credit. He played in 15 after his first 2 seasons, only accounting for 5 and 6. And he had a couple of picks. He's always around the ball.
So this year 4 for him?
This is year 4.
Make or break.
Kind of a make or break year, right? And which is exactly why he's on this list. He's not near the top of it, but he's on this list because he's clearly got some talent, right? He clearly has a great attitude and seems like somebody that busts his butt and gets the most out of his talent. But he's not a starter and is yet to really cement a hold on being a starting corner. So after 3, now into 4 years, what is he? And I think it's his opportunity to try to prove that this year.
Yeah, and the question is really going to become fit. Because I think during this segment yesterday, I told you got to watch the Giants Hard Knocks because it's going to fit your eye, Salk. It's all about team building and value and everything else, and all the numbers and stuff you love behind the scenes. And it also was about...
It was great.
Yeah, and it's also about that D coordinator coming in from Tennessee and telling those scouts, telling the personnel, telling the pro personnel, the college personnel, the other coaches, everybody in the room, this is what I want. It's what I need. So Reek is a fit in any system when you're 6'3" and run 4.2. I mean, and you do, and you play the ball like he did his rookie year and everything else. Now, the physical element of it and making business decisions too many times last year is going to be challenged within this organization with these eyes and this head coach in particular. But Tre Brown, Mike Jack, who fits better in a man-to-man kind of scheme, in a man-to-man kind of defense that requires both a Michigan and a Baltimore, not all the time, and they will mix and they'll do all sorts of stuff. But I think ideally you want to bring heat, you want to be aggressive, and you're going to have to play some man-to-man. So does Mike Jack or Tre Brown play better in that kind of phase? Or did this staff look at the situation and go, need more? I need more dudes that can run 4.3 and 4.4. So we take 2 corners out of the same school in the 5th and 6th round in April. I think that's a little bit of a sign A, Tre, make or break year, and B, we need guys with a little more length. And that's been the challenge. I can think of
He's just not that big.
I can think of 3 or 4 plays last year where you're and Dave Wyman loves Tre Brown. And I totally know why. Because of everything you said, he's got this charisma and this spark and this juice, and he played so much at Oklahoma, and he's always around the ball. I can think of 3 or 4 plays where it's yep, I want him in a one-on-one, and we're going to get our bigger guy, and you're just not going to be able to match with him.
Yep.
Right? Matching with Puka Nacua. You going to match with Puka Nacua in one-on-one? Or is Mike Jack going to match better? Or maybe this 4.3 40 with long arms out of Auburn, is he going to match a little better, right? That's the kind of push comes to shove at this stage of Tre's career. He can play in this league, but can you count on him to be a shutdown corner? And when you play Brandon Ayuk, and when you play Puka Nacua, and when you play these guys, and oh, by the way, there's this kid named, what is his name? Marvin Harrison Jr. down in Arizona, right? In your own division. And you got to play these beasts physically. You kind of have to have some kind of beast physically to match up with them.
I don't know whether he's a beast physically. I mean, he's one of these guys that
he's 5'10", 180.
Right, but he gets the most out of it, which
he absolutely does.
He is a want-to guy. He's a try-hard guy in all the right ways. He's got ball instincts. He feels the ball. He sees the ball. It's the only reason, Salk, that he's been able to cut through for these 4 years, right? Because he does have good ball instincts. Tre Brown, I'm never going to get over his highlight reel when he got drafted. Right, that was the year that the first pick they had was D. Eskridge, right? And the second pick was Tre Brown. They didn't have very many picks because they traded a lot of it away. And I just remember watching, first they had the highlights of D. Eskridge were on grainy footage of Sasquatch. You couldn't even see it. You're okay, well, I don't know what this guy is. Tre Brown, all the highlights were of him running somebody down and making a tackle after he had been beat. I was I don't know. All the highlights are not particularly impressive for what this guy can do. Well, a couple of years later, and he's better than that. I honestly, I had a very negative view of him coming out in the draft, and that has changed. He is a much better player than that highlight reel suggested. Is he, though, going to be somebody that can be a starting player for you? I have a lot of doubts still on that. Decent player, right? Nice guy to have on your team. Mm-hmm. Certainly, if you lose a starting cornerback, it would be great to have a Tre Brown to be able to count on after that. But is he a starter? I think that's up to him to try to prove this year.
And I think I probably played a role in some of that bias for you because I saw him a bunch at Oklahoma, and he's a good player, good college player. He played 51 games at Oklahoma in 4 years, super durable. He had 4 picks in 4 years.
Right.
And it was like, okay, like you're there.
But he had 2 last year. I mean, give him credit. He had 2 last year. He's gotten his hands on the ball, and that stuff matters. So, anyway, he had 6 passes defensed last year as well that he knocked down, and 2 forced fumbles.
Yeah, he made a bunch of
that's a bunch of plays.
He made a bunch of great plays on the ball.
4 turnovers and a bunch of knockdowns. Like, yeah, you can't count the guy out, but that's where he's at right now. Number 22.